To my weekly Facebook Live. I'm Brenda Bennett, Sugar-Free Mom, and thank you for joining me. As always, I'd love to know where you're looking from, watching from, so go ahead and type in there, tell me your name, tell me where you are. Sorry about that, that was my phone. Tonight, our topic is a really important one, and one that is really dear to my heart because I've suffered with it and am still hypothyroid. So I wanted to share a few things that I've learned and my experience. But before we do that, I always have some things to tell you about. Hey, Tracy from South Carolina and Lavon from Illinois. Thanks for joining me. My cookbook, Naturally Keto, has been released. October 29th, it was released. Thank you everyone who has ordered it. And thank you for everyone who has also written a review. I'm still giving away here, I'll put it up on the screen, my Everything But the Turkey ebook for everyone who orders from now until Thanksgiving, and anyone who writes a review, you can get this ebook for free. It's Everything But the Turkey, everything that I would make for Thanksgiving. And I definitely need those reviews. I have a few, they're slowly coming in, but reviews are always really helpful. Hopefully you give it a 5-star. Hopefully you're making some of the recipes in my book and you love them. And so far, I am getting good reviews, so I'm grateful for that. So up in the description above on Facebook, I did put, if you do order the book, well, there's the link above it. It's like 30% off right now. It's crazy low. So I would get it now, and I'd also get some for Christmas gifts. It's a great idea, right? And if you write the review, just send me a quick email, and I put the link, or I did not, maybe I didn't. Naturally, here, I'll put it over here. Naturally Keto book at gmail.com. If you email me that you ordered it, send me a copy of your receipt or send me a copy of your Amazon review, and I will send you along the ebook for free. And that's Naturally Keto book at Gmail. So let me see who's, hello, Nisha from Toronto, and Leanne from Tennessee, and Karen from San Diego. Must be really good weather where you are. Hey, Angela. Thank you. She loves my post. She got my book. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. This was a lot of hard work, and I'm grateful that the reviews are good so far, and everybody's loving the recipes. Oh, so I wanted to tell you one other thing before we start about the topic tonight. I've been doing a holiday giveaway. A couple weeks ago, I think it was when the book was released, I did a big Swerve baking package and a copy of my cookbook. Then I did sucker and sweetener. Then I did Butcher Box. And this week is all about Lily's Sweets. They gave me 10 coupons to give someone. So if you buy one of those bars, you can buy 10 of them. Like, it's $50 worth of coupons, basically your choice of candy. So you just take the coupons and go into your local Whole Foods or wherever you find the Lily's candy bars. And these are great for stocking stuffers, right? Totally awesome. So some lucky winner is going to win that. This contest ends Saturday night at midnight. And I did put the link above directly to my website. That's where you have to enter. You have to leave a comment. Now, if you ordered my cookbook already, you get 5 extra points. And if you didn't order, you get 5 extra points. You just got to send me a copy of your receipt. So that giveaway for Lily's chocolates ends Saturday night. So don't forget to get on that. And then, one last thing I wanted to tell you. I am doing a live cooking class. Yeah, I'm totally excited. I've never done one before. And I am actually making my keto pecan pie from the cookbook, along with, let me take that one down, while that's baking live, and you can bake right with me when you register for the class, I'm also going to make my sugar-free maple syrup from the class, and to top onto the pecan pie, my sugar-free whipped cream. So 3 recipes from my cookbook, but you have to register at the link that I left above. The cooking class is December 12th at 6:30 at night Eastern time. So you have to register. There's only so many people that they allow in the class, and you can talk to me live and make the recipe along with me. You can even make it and then freeze it for Christmas. How good is that, right? Oh, Angela, can't wait to try my cream puffs. They are so good. My family absolutely loves those cream puffs. Hey, Tracy from Ohio. Valentina, hello. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me. So hopefully you're here tonight. So now that we got all that out of the way, right? We talked about the 30% off on the cookbook, Lily's contest that ends Saturday night, and the Everything But the Turkey ebook is for free when you write a review or if you ordered my book, and the cooking class, right? So anyway, tonight is all about keto and hypothyroidism. So please leave any questions you have. I will try to get to them at the end. I'm not going to keep you too long tonight. Hi, Cindy from Wisconsin. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about my experience. So first off the bat, before we begin, I am not a doctor. I am not a nutritionist. I cannot give medical advice. I am not giving medical advice. I'm not telling you what to do at all. I'm simply sharing how keto has worked for me, and I've been diagnosed with hypothyroidism. And I get a couple of questions. I get all the time, should you do keto if you have hypothyroidism? And does keto actually cause hypothyroidism? So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So like I said, I'm not giving you any medical advice. You have to talk to your doctor, but I will talk about the things that I experienced, what happened to me, and testing that you can do so that maybe you can rule out some things and see, could it be your thyroid or not? That's how you're having, some issues with. So definitely leave any questions you have. So the first thing I'd like to do is explain a little bit about your thyroid hormones. So two of the biggest things, and most doctors just test your TSH, which is it's not even a thyroid hormone, it's your pituitary gland. And actually your TSH can be, you can be having hypothyroid symptoms for like 10 years. That's how long I've had, actually more, because my youngest son was born in 2005. And that's when I started having 2-week-long periods. And that's when the hormone started to go on me a little bit wacky. And, but my TSH has always remained normal. So you really can have symptoms with your thyroid for years before the TSH is going to show any issues with it. So that's really not the be all end all test that you want to have done. So if you suspect thyroid symptoms, like if you are having hypothyroid symptoms, and I'm going to go over what those are, then you need to get more than just the TSH testing by your primary care doctor. And if he won't do, or she won't do any further testing, you need to ask to be referred to an endocrinologist who will, because we're paying for the doctors, right? Paying for the doctors. They should at least do what we've asked and get more testing done to rule out things. That's all I'm saying. So what happened to me is I started having these symptoms. I started having 2-week-long periods after my son was born in 2005. And that went on for quite a few years, 3-4 years. They thought it was polyps. I did have them. I had those removed. Then they thought it was endometriosis. Then I went on the pill. And then I started having, nothing worked, basically. Nothing worked. And so I started having, they wanted to do a hysterectomy. And I said, isn't there something less evasive? So we went with an IUD. And I think that's probably where, because it was a synthetic progesterone, I think that's where my thyroid also started to deteriorate even more. So then about 5 years ago, maybe it was when I was 40, let's see, I'm going to be 48. Going to be 48, so it was almost 6 years ago. When I was 42, I started having symptoms of hair loss in the back of my head. And then my eyebrow hair was falling out. And I was lethargic. I was tired. So I went to my doctor and I said, I just don't feel right. I just don't feel like I should have 4 cups of coffee a day to survive. And he just dismissed me. He said, you're a mom. You're just tired, you have allergies, you're taking, allergy medicine. So I dismissed it. And I said, well, I was gaining weight too. And he's like, well, you're a blogger. You're eating all this food. You're making all this food. So anyway, I believed him when I was 42. And I was like, wow, 42 has not been a good year for me. And that's when I started to loosely experiment with the ketogenic diet. I was already low carb. So I started eating higher fat, and I noticed, my hair started coming back, the eyebrow hairs did not. I would touch my eyebrows and they would just fall out. Dry skin. So I dealt with that, right? I just felt like I'm not being diligent enough. I'm not being strict enough with my diet, the gaining of the weight, etc. Right? So I just kept increasing my coffee to feel better. And then in January of 2018, I went very strict keto. And I said, that's got to be it. I've got to go strict keto to see some results here. And I have a blog post, low carb versus keto, and my 6-week results there. You can see I lost 3 pounds. Now, this is before I knew that I was even hypothyroid. So I only lost 3 pounds, but I do have fat loss there. So the ketogenic diet did not harm me. It helped me, in my opinion. So then by the spring of 2018, I started having swollen glands. I went back to the doctor. Now brain fog is happening. I'm breaking out in hives. And again, he dismissed all these symptoms. The gaining of the weight, even though I was in nutritional ketosis and doing nothing wrong, I was gaining weight on my keto diet. I was having brain fog. I couldn't drive. I was so exhausted. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. So he dismissed my symptoms and said that I just needed prednisone for the hives and get over it. So that's when I said I need to see an endocrinologist. That was back in the spring of 2018. She found that I was recently attacked with the Epstein-Barr virus, and that was probably attacking my thyroid. So those are things that my primary care didn't bother to, even check, because those symptoms of Epstein-Barr, of course, cause fatigue, and just you can't really get over it. Now I'm a chronic Epstein-Barr person; I'll never go away. But it's something you can manage. So this whole time I've remained keto, and I honestly feel like I think I would have been gaining a lot more weight had I not been on a ketogenic diet. And I think my symptoms of the brain fog and everything else would have been a lot worse. Because really being in nutritional ketosis, I don't know how many of you can attest, but I had, before I got hit with the Epstein-Barr, I felt great. I had mental clarity. I didn't have the brain fog. I felt incredible. And then it deteriorated after the Epstein-Barr got diagnosed. And so then I was basically really, really struggling. So I started doing, I was struggling with the T4 medication that the endocrinologist had put me on. It was basically it was just not working. I was on it for 6 months. Lo and behold, the synthetic Synthroid has gluten in it as a filler, dairy in it, and corn, all things that I am very highly sensitive to. So we got rid of that. We tried Tyrosint, which wasn't helpful at all. And even though it's got only 4 ingredients. And then back in April, this past spring of 2019, in April or May, actually it was May, I read a book. I'll show it to you. I read L. Russ's book, The Paleo Thyroid Solution. So fantastic. And I knew exactly what I needed. I needed T3. So now let me stop my story for a little bit and tell you about your free T4 and your free T3. My endocrinologist tested those. My primary care only tested the TSH, never checking the other 2 thyroid hormones that should have been checked. Your T4, your free T4 is thyroxine. And it's basically like your storage hormone, and it converts to your active hormone, which is your free T3. Now, sometimes you can have problems with conversion. And so all the medication I was on, all that T4 medication wasn't helping me for like 6 months. For whatever reason, I wasn't converting the T4 into what I needed, the T3. So after I read Elle's book, I said, please, to the doctor, please, I'm begging you. I have all the symptoms of hypothyroidism. Give me a little bit of the free T3. Now, let me explain what the free T3 hormone is. That is, it's a big name, thyroidothyronine. Can't even say it. But basically, that is your active hormone that you need to live. I mean, it is everything. It is, I wrote some things down. I mean, it is your energy. It is critical for fat burning. It is critical for your body temperature. I was cold in the summer before I got diagnosed. Cold in the summer, wearing a sweatshirt in like 80 degrees outside. Your T3, it helps you with your proper blood pressure and heart rate, brain. So that's why I was having such brain fog and mood swings. So I was having a lot of symptoms. And come to find out, my free T3 number was at the bottom of the normal range. So just because it's in the normal range doesn't mean it's optimal for you. For me, it was not optimal. When I asked her to put me on a little bit of T3 in combination with the T4, my life changed. I was on a cruise for 2 weeks with my family in Europe. I wasn't watching, I mean, I was staying keto, but I wasn't, and I'm off of gluten, obviously, but I wasn't watching how much I ate. I wasn't counting carbs or anything like that. I was losing weight. And I lost 8 pounds within a couple of weeks, even on a cruise. So my metabolism was definitely affected because of my low free T3. So if I would say anything to you, if you've had any of those symptoms that I just mentioned and your doctor has only tested your TSH, then you need to request your free T3 and your free T4. Now, I'm not a thyroid expert, but I have learned a lot. I don't do coaching or anything like that, but Elle does, Elle Russ, ELLERUSS. She does private thyroid coaching calls, and you can call her with your test results and she will go over those with you. I did that, in fact, myself, and she will help you with any of your test results that you need. So basically, but there are some things now before we talk about, does keto cause hypothyroidism, right? And should you do keto with hypothyroid? So there are some things that, might look like your thyroid, causes that might look like your thyroid that you should rule out. But those are testing to get done, free T4 and free T3. But other things that could also look like, brain fog, I wrote constant fatigue, it would be low selenium. And if you don't eat anything like wild salmon or shrimp or cod or egg yolks, you might be low in selenium. And that's just a blood test to get found, discover, ask the doctor if you're low in selenium. That could be a reason, and you just got to increase those foods. But brain fog and fatigue is one of them if you're low in selenium. Another one would be low iron. That can cause dizziness, that can cause restless leg, and that can cause exhaustion. So if you have any of those symptoms, you want to rule out if you have a low iron problem, as well as your free T4 and your free T3. You just got to get all those tested. You've got to rule out some things in order to, to determine where to go from there. But those are just some things to rule out. But should you do keto with hypothyroid? Yes, keto does not cause hypothyroidism. There are some causes, like you could have an autoimmune problem. You could have had a surgery that caused it. You could have the iron deficiency. Stress can cause hypothyroidism. So nothing I did to my body caused hypothyroidism. And in fact, it probably delayed or at least reduced the level of symptoms that I actually had. I think I would have been a lot worse without it, but definitely no. Now, there is some controversy, so I don't see any questions yet, so I'm going to keep going. Hey, April from Boston. Nice to have you. And Susan from New Zealand. Now, the other thing is, before I found out that I was hypothyroid, I did everything, with the ketogenic diet I thought I could do to try to lose the fat. And one of them was a protein sparing modified fast. So I increased my protein, and that helped so much. I lost a few pounds, but really wasn't, it was the point of that I felt better eating more protein. So that's something. Maria Emmerich has a fantastic book, a protein sparing modified fast book that might help you. But there is some controversy. There is some controversy regarding eating lower carb and keto may reduce your free T3 levels. And in fact, it can. But I read a study from Stephen Finney, evidence-based study back in 2017. And he shared all about that you can, because you're eating lower carb, you become more sensitive to your own active thyroid hormone. So you actually need a lot less of it because you're not being on a ketogenic diet. You're not a sugar burner. You're not burning glucose. You don't need as much of T3. On being a carb restricted, carb person, your glucose, you're going to need more of it to function. But his study showed that eating lower carb, reducing the carb, and being more ketogenic, your body actually is more efficient at using the active hormone that you have. And I experienced that. So when I was at the very bottom of the range for my free T3, and I had all the symptoms before I got diagnosed, and I said, I'm at the bottom of the range. I need something. So, I'm having all these symptoms, and hopefully your doctor will listen to that. When I got on the compounded T4, T3 medication in May, when I went on the cruise and I lost weight and I felt better and the brain fog disappeared, that my numbers were tested, my blood was tested after 6 weeks. My free T3 was at the top of the range. I felt fantastic. And then for whatever reason, sometimes your body fluctuates and you just need more of it later on. My numbers started dropping September, October, November when I got tested. But my hypothyroid symptoms weren't as severe. I noticed a little bit of brain fog, a little bit, but not like it was when my number was low at the bottom of the range. I noticed a little bit of fatigue. So I let it go. And I said, well, that's probably because I was doing carnivore. I was doing an elimination diet for about 2 months. And maybe that was why. But I still didn't have the severe symptoms that I had when my thyroid was really, really low. My free T3 number was at the bottom of the range. So for me, what I read from Stephen Finney's research, he is from Virta Health, VIRTA, Virta Health. His evidence-based post back in 2017 was true for me. My lower T3 didn't mean that I had all those symptoms back. So I was functioning and more efficient with the active hormone that I had in my body. But I recently went to the doctor a week ago. My numbers are still low. I still have a slight bit of brain fog and a little bit of fatigue. So we're just changing my dose. We're adding a little bit of T3 in the afternoon because that's what my body needs. And I'll retest in a month and just see where I'm at. But I know that it's going to help me. Sometimes people can be on the same thyroid medicine for 20 years and not have any issues. But I can tell immediately when I start feeling different. And you'll notice that too, if you've had any. Okay, great. So we've got some questions. Karen started Atkins in 2000 and then went into keto, up and down with her T3, T4, TSH all these years, and blessed to have an endocrinologist as your primary for 19 years. That's super fantastic. I wish that was my story. Long story short, we started using T3 and T4 combo meds. I lost it for a second, and that's my clock ringing, sorry. And blood work every 2 to 3 months separately. And now 2 years later, my doctor is keto now. Oh my gosh, Karen, that's fantastic. Seeing what it's done for me. Exactly what happened to me you are discussing. Are we sisters? Oh, you're so cute. Strengths for now, T4 at 100 milligrams and T3 at 15. And then 70 COPD. I don't know what COPD is, Karen. Tell me what that is. Loving keto. So see, you've had a great experience with keto as well. It hasn't harmed you. I think it's helped you. Am I right? And Deborah, I'm hypothyroid. I've taken Synthroid for 15 years and was keto from May to October and gained 25 pounds. Oh, we need to talk about this. And the TSH level quadrupled. And I went to eating once a day and it got even worse. So, Deborah, have you ever tested your free T or your free T4 and your free T3? Because maybe the Synthroid isn't really working. And I will say that people who have low T3, we're going to have trouble burning fat. So if, Deborah, you are eating a really high fat, traditional, typical ketogenic diet, 75% fat, that's not going to work for you. Because if you have hypothyroid, you're going to have trouble just burning the fat in your body, let alone the extra fat you're eating. So you need an adjustment to the ketogenic diet. You need to leverage the fat down and increase your protein. That would be my suggestion. Right now, I am working on a keto course specifically for leveraging the fat. And that will be in the new year. So stay tuned for that. I'm super excited about that because women like us, those over 40, we cannot do the typical ketogenic diet with the high fat if you are looking to lose weight and burn fat. Especially if you're hypothyroid, you definitely can't eat all that fat. You want to burn the fat on your body. So I would suggest also listening to Ted Naiman. Oh, and another book I wanted to suggest, which is fabulous, Stop the Thyroid Madness. This is from Janie Bowthorpe. Fantastic book. You need to get informed, guys. You really do. And she also does calls for going over your testing. I think there was one more. Samantha, hi from Texas. Hi, Samantha. I have all those symptoms. Recently got diagnosed with hypothyroid and my doctor prescribed Synthroid. That's what I had first. I know. Now I'm wanting to test my T3 and T4. I've tried the keto and can only lose about 10 pounds. And after that, I can't lose any more. Exactly right. If you've been diagnosed and you're just on Synthroid, some people it just doesn't work. We can't convert the T4 into T3. The active hormone is what you need. Your body produces about 80% of the T4 and the rest is from T3. But for some reason, some of us just need the actual active hormone free T3 in our bodies to make it work properly. And especially like you, I was in that same boat. I tried Synthroid for 6 months it didn't help me at all. So just ask your doctor to just test your free T3 and free T4 and talk to Elle Russ, get a thyroid call with her or Janie and speak to them about your records and just see what they suggest. But I definitely think it's worth it. Deborah says, I haven't had T3 testing. We'll try to lower the fat, but won't I get hungry? Not, Deborah, if you increase your protein. So I made a switch when I realized that I was hypothyroid and the fat wasn't ever filling me up. Like I could eat all the fat bombs all day. They never filled me up. As soon as I made the switch and instead of having a snack of a fat bomb, I started increasing my protein at my 2 meals that I eat. And I started adding collagen peptides in my coffee in the morning. That's when things changed for me. I stopped needing high fat. I'm still eating a good amount of fat, but not 75% fat. I'm probably more like 60% fat. And I've increased my protein greatly. And I'm pretty much like 10 total carbs a day because I kind of went carnivore for a couple months to kind of see if the hives would go away as well and eliminate, and they did. So I gradually started adding back some vegetables, but I find that I just want the protein. That's what it's about for me. Terry says, I'm not having any luck with the high fat keto. I know. How many of you are over 40? I mean, it's just, we cannot do the typical, somebody maybe with a perfect, metabolism or with no adrenal problems or that was what I wanted to talk to you about too. You do have to get your adrenals and cortisol tested. So I had that testing done as well, just to make sure, because if you keto, being in a ketogenic state in nutritional ketosis can stress your body a little bit, but sometimes we want stress on our body, like a good workout. That's a good stress on your body, right? But if you have high cortisol and you're not able to sleep well, or you don't want to stress out your adrenal glands, being in a ketogenic state. So if you got to rule out those two things, probably with your doctor, just like low iron and low selenium, before you say, okay, I definitely have hypothyroid, right? You've got to rule out those things first because those are the same symptoms: fatigue, brain fog, tiredness, weight gain, right? So you just have to rule out some things before you can actually say, yes, I want to get tested. But I would still get tested for the free T3 and free T4. Just get all the testing done. That's the best way to do it. All right, let's see. Sometimes Yvette says, sometimes when I'm in keto, I felt insomnia increase on my heart rates during the night. Any recommendations? Yes, I think that does happen. You could try magnesium glycinate at night, 1 hour before you go to bed. That is fantastic. I do 400 milligrams at night, an hour before bed. It will help you calm your mind. It just might be It just might help you sleep. Basically, it calms your mind. It's like a natural Valium. Let's just put it that way. But basically, it will help you sleep, and it will help your muscles relax. So, and having a higher heart rate is your muscle not relaxing, right? It's a muscle. So I would definitely, Yvette, suggest magnesium glycinate at night. Terry's trying carnivore. I did carnivore and it did reduce my hives. It did. But right now I'm about 10 total carbs a day. Let's see. Did I miss one? Deborah. No, I got you. Janet says, I'm 3 weeks into keto. I take Synthroid, but I'm so tired. Yeah. Have you got your, Janet, have you got your free T4 and free T3? Because that would definitely tell me, what your numbers are, Elizabeth, can you share the recipe? I don't know what recipe you wanted. Just let me know. Paul from Down Under, hello. Thanks for watching. Margaret, she was talking to Janet. She takes Synthroid as well. She tried to do the keto diet. I was tired, had leg cramps. You need magnesium, Margaret. Fast heartbeat and more frequent migraines. You need magnesium, even for migraines. That's a muscle in there too, right? That's causing the migraines. You do need magnesium. My son and his wife did fabulous on keto and each lost 40 pounds. Again, find out what your free T3 is. Yeah. I have been dizzy. Thunder says I have been dizzy. Is that what is the brain fog? No, you could just have low iron. You might have low iron. I never got dizzy with my thyroid symptoms. I never got dizzy. I was extremely fatigued to the point of I would go to the trainer and do an hour workout and drive home almost falling asleep at the wheel. Scary tired. So the symptoms are different for everyone, but my suggestion is that get some testing, rule out low iron, low selenium, adrenals, cortisol, and find out what your free T3 and your free T4 is. When you find out those things, then you can better assess. And if you don't understand those numbers or your doctor says you don't have a thyroid problem, you're in the normal range, like I was at the very bottom of the range, and you're on Synthroid and it's not working and you still have all these symptoms, well, then you need to change something up. Like I said, read Elle's book or read Janie's book, or get some thyroid get a call with them for them to go over your test results with you. And that's what I would suggest, because I'm trying to help all of you not to go through the years and years and years since 2005, what I suspected was my thyroid was since 2005. And the symptoms just, it took a long time. It took a long time before it got really bad. But I think the ketogenic diet really helped me to not be 50 pounds overweight rather than 15. So anyway, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Karen, thank you. COPD is a lung disease and I'm on heavy steroids. So weight loss is out of the question. I eat keto since 2009. That's wonderful. And you're on oxygen, so no cardio. So you don't do it. You do it for the medical piece, not the weight loss. Thank you. You love my recipes. I really appreciate that. You call me your guru. Thank you so much. You're great. You guys are great. Yvette, can you repeat how many grams of magnesium? So not all magnesium is the same. Magnesium glycinate is the one that you want. I think the other ones can cause you to have loose stool if you're having, problems going number 2. But glycinate is what you need for relaxing, to help with leg cramps, to help with migraines, to help with sleeping. I take 400 milligrams. I think the bottle says you can take up to 800 milligrams. So I would definitely suggest at least 400 at night, not in the day. I had a friend, I don't know if she's watching, my friend Heather, and I told her to start taking take the magnesium. She started taking it in the morning and it made her tired. So she worked all day and being tired. I said, no, only at night, but 1 hour before bed. Alice is taking Nature Thyroid, because I've had a thyroidectomy. Interested in carnivore because keto isn't successful. I wonder if it's just not successful because you were just doing the really high fat. and maybe you just need to try a protein sparing modified fast. Maria Emmerich has a cookbook on that. Carnivore is hard, I will say. Carnivore is not easy. It may certainly help. I mean, I did it for 2 months, but now I'm about 10 total carbs a day. But I would suggest just trying to fix the ketogenic macros for yourself. Try to reduce down to 60 grams of fat instead of 70 or 80, and see if that works before you have to go to carnivore. Just a suggestion. All right, guys. Well, I've kept you long enough, and I thank you all for watching, and I hope that this episode has helped you. And look, if you're not subscribed to my emails, look for my post on Sunday, which is my birthday. I will be 48. Thank you very much. 48 years young. And I'm going to write a more detailed post on keto and hypothyroid. And I will include this video in there too. But I wanted to give you a little bit more detail. So on Sunday, on my birthday, I'll be sharing a post. So hopefully you subscribe to my newsletter at sugarfreemom.com. And all the links are above for everything I mentioned before. And I hope you have a great night, and I'll try to answer the rest of those questions that are coming in. And I won't be here next Thursday. Neither should you. We should be off our Facebook on Thursday, which is Thanksgiving. So I wish you all a very happy, healthy Thanksgiving, and I hope you're all keeping it keto on that day, because I've got plenty of recipes for you for Thanksgiving Day. All right, guys, have a great night. Bye-bye.